Hey guys, Branchen Brown here, physical therapist, CrossFit coach, and wellness coach with Get Your Fix Physical Therapy. So I said yesterday we're going to start talking about the detriments of sitting and how it can affect different parts of, as far as your muscles and joints go, so musculoskeletal system. Today I'm addressing the hips and what it can do to your hips. So when you are sitting, most chairs are not designed for good posture regardless of what type of chair you have. So essentially if you're sitting, the more fidgety you can be and moving around, the better. Luckily I can't sit still, so I'm always moving around. But besides that, I don't sit much. I'm usually standing at my computer. If I'm at home, I'm standing. Very rarely do I just sit. You can ask my husband. We were over at my family's house for Thanksgiving. I literally just stood up all day for the most part. Didn't really sit down, even like just talk with people. So I don't sit much. I don't like to sit. My butt gets sore actually because I'm not used to sitting now. So there's that. But when you're sitting, so first off, your hip flexors on the front here. Anytime you sit, especially for long periods of time, those hip flexors are going to get tight. Where that problem, or we have two problems with that. One, they just shorten and get tight. But two, some of our hip flexors actually attach to our back. So when those get tight, it can affect our posture, as it can affect how our back moves as well. So there's one big issue. The other issue with sitting is a lot of chairs tend to force you into this internal rotation direction because they're kind of curved this way. So naturally it forces those hips to turn inward. So anytime you're going to be doing anything then functional later on, you lose that external rotation direction, so that that rotation outward or that positioning outward. Where that can affect things is just getting into a normal squat position, doing any sort of, it's pretty much the main one as far as, if you look at most people's squat, it's pretty limited because they can't properly rotate outward. Most people I work with don't have a whole lot of external rotation, so that's one direction I really work on a lot with the majority of people I work with for any hip, knee, or back issues. So if you have a job that you need to be sitting all day, best thing you can do is just be really fidgety essentially, and just kind of move around a lot, and also get up frequently during the day so these muscles don't get as tight. What else was I going to say? Other thing is just get up and walk around a lot. The more you can get up, move around, walk somewhere, even just stand for a brief bit of time, that'll help those as well. But for the most part, chairs are just not made properly for us, and so the more we sit, the tighter these get, the tighter our rotation gets. I understand not everyone can get up and move around a lot. You may travel, you may drive a lot for work. You are right, Felicia, as a student studying obviously you're sitting a lot for that. So there's a lot of reasons people need to sit. I get that. But the more you can get up and move around a lot, the better. If any of you are in my Live Productive group, I have posted on there recently about a really good way to just stay focused is doing like a 25-minute on, 5-minute off work schedule. That is also a really good idea a really good way to get you up and moving around as well. That 5 minutes, you've been sitting for 25, get up and move around. Go walk around the house, walk around the block, whatever it may be. Just getting up and moving around can help to keep all of this from getting so tight. As far as what to do for it when you are tight, I will be addressing that later in, what are we at, Wednesday? Probably early next week actually. Showing you some things you can do when you're up and moving around in order to stretch out those hips. I like it, Felicia. Way to stand up. So I'll address some things you can do to stretch out the hips later on during the week. There's going to be some of my favorite ones that I love doing with people. Warning, most people hate them because they're pretty rough when you're tight, but they're good to do. So if you have any questions as far as sitting goes in general, and other things that it can do as far as the hips go. Comment on that below. Thanks, Daniel. I appreciate that. Comment on that below, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Feel free to message me directly. Hey, Cameron. If you have any issues you want to address with me directly, I'd be happy to answer those for you as well. So we cover mobility issues for squats. I definitely will. All the mobility stuff I do, stuff I do with all my people, my CrossFit people for squats. So I will definitely get that covered, Daniel, probably within the next couple days. Hey, Cameron, nice to see you. Christina, what's the best sitting posture? Essentially, because of what being cross-legged consistently can do to the pelvis and the sacrum, which is your big bowl bony structure here and the sacrum, the more neutral you can be, the better. If you consistently cross one leg over the other and it's always that leg, it ends up causing this rotation dysfunction in your hips and your back, and that can cause even further problems. So the more neutral you can sit as far as the legs go, the better. With that said, if you have a chair that allows it, kind of being more fidgety also helps. So kind of sitting to the edge and just kind of letting one leg come down and this way. That way you're kind of stretching one leg out while this one is sitting there. That can also help as well. If your chair allows it, even just sitting cross-legged, my stool is not going to allow it, but if your chair allows it, even just sitting cross-legged can help. It helps open up those hips a little bit. So there's a lot of different ways you can sit, and I can address some of those as well later in the week when I do some of my stretches as well. So if you have any other questions, if you're watching this not live, definitely post them and I will be happy to answer them for you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.